Good. What else, Jeremiah?
My fear was afraid of heights.
You were afraid of heights. How would you evaluate or judge that fear now? Are you still afraid of it? And then how would you overcome it?
I will overcome it by tall building.
You stand in a tall building, you said? All right. Do you think, like, if I'm afraid of something, do you think from today, let's say I'm afraid of heights, like he said, do you think from today to tomorrow I should go skydiving?
Yes.
Do you think that that will overcome my fear?
Yeah.
Maybe, if some people, like, for them, they just need to do it, like, head on, something really drastic to try to get over it. What's another way you can go about overcoming a fear?
Going on a roller coaster.
What? Okay, but I'm saying, like, in terms of, can you do it? Yes?
The Bible.
What do you mean the Bible? What do you mean? Reading the Bible? What does that have to do with, okay, that's not related. All right, so what I was trying to get at was if we slowly work towards overcoming a fear, don't you think that's going to be effective in actually overcoming it? In other words, maybe if Vinny would have like walked up slowly and then gone to the ravine and then left and then come back and tried it again and then left and then come back at it again, maybe he would have been more likely to jump. Yes?
Yeah.
So if you do something slowly, little by little, don't you think you'll get to a point where you might overcome that fear? Yeah, but it also depends on the fear. So today, we're going to talk about one specific fear in the story called In the Spotlight. I want everyone to turn to page 51 in their textbooks. Page 51.
There's only one here.
Yes, we're starting a new one today.
What's that book over there?
Page 51. Page 51. Page 51. Open to page 51. Open to page 51. I want everybody to put their finger on the title. What do you see on page 51? What do you see? Raise your hand. What do you see on page 51? What do you see? Raise your hand, David.
I see a boy. He have a microphone in front of him, and then he have a paper. I think he's gonna read it in front of people, but he's scared.
Yes, so he has a paper in his hand. He seems like he's going to read it in front of people. He looks scared. You see a boy. Yeah, what else? Anyone else want to tell me what they see? Raise your hand, Jeremiah.
A bottle over the top of it say, "Don't stuff that scared your pants."
All right, so it's definitely going to be about something that somebody's afraid of, right? Probably a fear. Yeah. What else? What do you see?
Glenn Murphy.
Glenn Murphy is the author. I'll point out that the author is a funny author. In other words, he likes to make jokes out of things, okay? So I want you to see if you can catch on to that. What else? What else do you see on that page?
He got stage fright.
Seems to have stage fright, yeah. He seems to have, especially we can tell that from the title, right? In the spotlight. Yes, what else, Shanil?
He's nervous.
He seems nervous. What else?
He's
Aaron?
terrified.
He's what?
He's terrified.
He's terrified. Yeah, he's terrified. You can tell he's definitely very scared. So we think it's going to be about a boy or about someone, right?
Yes.
Who is afraid of being on stage, like Elijah said, maybe speaking in front of people, right? Okay, let me ask you one more question. Remember when we talked about informational text? Is this an article that's giving us information or is this a story? Just by looking at it, what do you
It's a
think?
story.
You think it's going to be a story about a fictional character that goes on a journey or something, or like that speaks in front of people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you looking at it?
Yeah.
What does everybody think? What else? Anyone know if it's going to be a story or what do you think? What do you think? How do you know it's a story, David? Why do you think it's a story?
To have long paragraphs and stuff.
What's wrong? Why can't informational text have long paragraphs though? Yeah, Jeremiah.
They have chapters.
Okay, it has chapters, but informational text can have chapters too.
It's having a purpose.
It does have purpose, but you can do that with informational text too. Why is this an informational text? Is it telling us a story or is it giving us information?
It's giving
Just
us
by looking,
information.
it's giving us information about
About
the fear of
a kid.
maybe speaking in front of people. Yes. So it is an informational article. It's not a story. You can tell that just by skimming over that first page. You can tell that, right? We're gonna read this informational text together today. As we do that, we're gonna do a stop and jot and a think, pair, share. So just be aware of the different questions I'm asking you. At the end of today, what will you be able to do with this informational article?
Write a summary.
Write a summary. Everyone's heard the word summary?
Yeah.
Raise your hand, one person, and tell me what a summary means. One person.
Paragraph.
Jeremiah.
That has introduction, right?
All right, is it an essay? What is a summary? What is a summary? What do you think a summary is? Yeah.
It's has 3 or more paragraphs.
It's not really about the length. What do you think a summary is? I tell you, oh my gosh, what did you do this weekend? Give me a summary of your weekend.
I did. I went to a party.
Explain what you did. I'm not asking you literally. I'm asking you, what does that mean? Yes.
Like, I was like, this weekend, what I did was I went fishing and I caught.
All right. Okay. I'm gonna stop you and tell you. Are you telling me from the moment you woke up to the moment you went to sleep what you did? No. You're telling me what the main things, the main events that you did. Yes. That would be your summary. You're telling me the main parts of something. It's like when you guys are like, oh, I want to go to the movies and I want to see this movie, but let me see what this movie's about. So you watch the trailer before you go to the movies, right? You see the whole movie. You don't want to waste your time watching a whole movie that you're not gonna like, so you watch a trailer. Yeah?
Yeah.
The trailer is a summary of the movie. It's the main ideas of the movie. It's the main point of the movie, right, that they want to tell you. So if I ask you, what did you read in this article, you're going to be able to tell me this and this and this and this is what I read without telling me the entire article. Yes? Do we understand?
Yeah.
Could you tell me, can somebody raise their hand and tell me what a summary is really quickly? A summary is, yeah, Jeremiah.
The main thing that
The most important ideas in the story. Yes? How about we write that down so that nobody is questioning what a summary means? Let's write it down in our own words. A summary is the main ideas of a text. The main ideas of a text. The main ideas of a text. A summary is the main ideas of a text. 30 seconds. We're writing this down in our journal. The main ideas of a text. So when you're looking in this text, you're going to be like, okay, when I read this paragraph, what is the main idea of this paragraph? Because then at the end, you're going to have, 10 paragraphs? So you'll have one sentence for each paragraph, and that will help you write your summary. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
If you pick out the most important parts of every paragraph, you're going to have a paragraph or two of main ideas. Does that make sense? We're going to work on this together. It's going to make a lot more sense as we start reading. Okay. Everybody was able to copy that?
Yeah.
All right. Let's start reading. I'm going to read that first page, and then we're going to do more reading together out loud. All right. It says, In the Spotlight from Stuff That Scares Your Pants Off by Glenn Murphy. Some of us, and I want you following along with your fingers so I know you're paying attention. Some of us are fine with the idea of standing in front of huge crowds of people. But others would happily bungee off a 200-foot bridge or dive into a shoal of circling sharks rather than experience the sheer terror of facing an audience. Shoved out on stage or to the front of a class, people like this will quite literally lose their voice. The mouth may open, but the words won't come out. They just stand there gaping like helpless goldfish pulled out of water, their weak limbs quaking with fear, feeling like they want to run, hide, or cry. If that sounds like you, then you are one of the world's many, many sufferers of glossophobia, the fear of speaking or trying to speak in public. All right, so if I just look at that paragraph, so let's try to do main idea with just one paragraph before we try to do it with a whole section or a whole piece of text. If we just do it with that one paragraph, what if I'm thinking about it, the way I would think about it is, okay, I just read all about, different kinds of fears and specifically the one of speaking in front of people. I have never heard of the word glossophobia, but now I know by reading that is the fear of speaking in front of people. So in that paragraph, what the author tries to tell us in maybe 6 or 7 sentences is that glossophobia is the fear of speaking in front of people. That's it. If somebody came up to you and asked you, what did you just read in that paragraph? All you would respond, a summary of that paragraph would be, glossophobia is a fear of speaking in front of people. Can I get a thumbs up if that makes sense? If it doesn't, that's okay. Tell me and I'll explain it again. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Do you not understand? You want me to repeat it? Okay, if I read that whole paragraph to myself, we just read it out loud. If I read it to myself and then somebody walks in and asks you, Chanel, what is that paragraph about? And you only can respond in one sentence. The sentence would be, we just read a whole paragraph on different kinds of fears, but my way of summarizing it would be, glossophobia is the fear of speaking in front of people. That's it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
We read a lot of things, a lot of words, but the main idea of that paragraph is that glossophobia is the fear of speaking in front of people. Yeah, nervous to speak in front of people. We're gonna find out more as we read about what is glossophobia, why does it happen, what are ways to overcome it, what are suggestions to overcome it. Yes? Okay, so right now we know this essay, or this text, is going to be about the fear of speaking in front of people. Let's turn the page and keep reading. Can I get a volunteer to read that first paragraph, Chanel? The reality? Follow along with your finger, please. Follow along with your finger, Silva.
Glossophobia is amazing common. There are usually at least 4 or 5 kids in every grade who have it, and it's very common in adults too because you generally don't grow out of glossophobia. It takes help or practice to get over it. This is because it's basically a type of social phobia, a fear of being watched, judged, or sized up by other people, especially strangers and especially larger numbers of them.
Yes. So let's keep reading, but again, every time we read a paragraph, it's like, okay, what did I just read? What is the point of that, right? So can somebody just really quickly tell me, like, what did we just read? In that one paragraph.
That they're saying that glossophobia is amazing.
It's amazing, or that it's what?
It's amazing, common.
It's common.
There are usually at least 4 or 5 kids in every grade who have
Okay.
it,
So
and
that goes back to the idea that it's common, right? If 4 out of 5 kids have it, it's a common thing. So glossophobia is something that a lot of people have. Do you agree with that? Do you think glossophobia is something that a lot of people have? Yeah, a lot of people are scared to speak in front of crowds. That's a really common fear. That's a very, very common fear, right? Okay, good. Next paragraph. Can I get another volunteer? Natalie?
So where does it come from and what you use it is it? I mean, if fear of the dark heights and dangerous animals help keep our ancestors from being ambushed, what good is a fear of speaking to people? Wouldn't being able to speak for big groups have helped those early humans to communicate? The ones who were best at it, you think could become chefs,
Chiefs?
chiefs, kings, and emperors. If speaking is that useful, why is this fear trying to protect us from being booed and pelted with rotten vegetables if we do badly? Well, the answer is nothing really. There is no real danger involved in speaking to people, but the action of standing there and being watched can trigger a much older and more useful fear. The fear of being surrounded, threatened, and attacked by other people.
Okay, so if we stop and ask ourselves there, what is this about? Again, same thing, main idea, what's going on here. Where is it telling us that the fear of speaking in front of people comes from?
So where does
Raise your hand. Raise one person. Raise your hand. Where does the fear of being watched or looked at come from, Jeremiah?
By standing and watching and what other things?
Just Jeremiah. What is this fear? So we're afraid. We're afraid to stand in front of people.
But people actually there's being what standing there and being watched can trigger a much older or more youthful fear.
Yes. The fear of being surrounded, threatened, and attacked by people. If we think about old times, if we think about cavemen times, the basic reason that these people lived was to survive, right? All they wanted to do was eat, right? What they needed to eat to survive, yes?